Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about the new social media platform called Clubhouse. What is Clubhouse? And where does all of this excitement and all of this fuzz around Clubhouse come from? And why is it likely that in the nearby future we're going to see this war between, on the one side, Clubhouse, and on the other side, technology giants like Twitter, Apple, Spotify, and Instagram? And finally, what about security? Are there any concerns that should bother us regarding this new social media platform? Well, without any further ado, let's jump into the topic. So Clubhouse is a social media platform, right? And it was founded by this former Google engineer and the founder of a former social media platform called Highlight. Though it's a new social media platform, it's very interesting that Clubhouse already has millions of users worldwide, and it already also has a valuation of over $1 billion. Even though the company is not listed on any stock exchange, it's still private, and this makes this company very unique. It's already a unicorn despite it just being a very young company, a very new social media platform. So what's interesting is that Clubhouse functions rather differently than many other social media platforms, and this is partly the reason for all of the fuzz around this platform. So how you interact on Clubhouse as a social media platform is through audio chat rooms, where a moderator or multiple moderators lead and shape the conversation, and where the audience, of course, can join this conversation to lead to a nice, fruitful, interesting discussion. Basically, on this platform, you should forget about text, about comments, about likes, about pictures, and about video. And initially this might seem quite strange to you because it's a very different type of social media platform, especially compared to everything that's already out there. But as it kind of always is the case, of course, also this platform seeks to fill a gap. The founders of Clubhouse say that their goal was to provide a more humane experience, an experience that's based on talk, in terms of a social media platform, and humane experience that nowadays basically is lacking. So at this point, Clubhouse should still be fuzzy to you. That's very normal. So let me try to make things a bit clearer. So on Clubhouse, whoever wishes can open whatever room about whatever topic, and you can invite people to your digital room. These can be people, of course, that are within your network, but people who you don't know, or people who haven't been invited, also these people can find you on their homepage, which is called the hallway. They can see whoever they follow or whoever their network basically follows, and this leads to this massive reach of whoever is on Clubhouse. And this also means that you, as a person who opens a room, are able to actually quickly access a lot of people that you don't know and that's not within your direct network reach. And this is very interesting. You can, of course, also open a private room if you want to keep the room and the conversation limited to basically the people you directly know. So whoever opens the room becomes a moderator and can assign other moderators and, of course, also other speakers. Those invited or those joining the room, they become the audience, and initially the audience only listens. The moderator, other moderators, or those invited to speak, these are initially the speakers. However, if on Clubhouse, if you raise your hand, or if you get picked, or if you get invited from the audience, you get to speak as well. So note that I've been talking about the moderator now for a bit, and so the moderator is very important, of course, directing the way in which the conversation goes, but of course also in terms of maintaining order. So the moderator can block you if you, for example, engage in ways that are undesired. This way you never get to be in the same room together anymore with whoever blocked you. So this is a very serious thing. Don't get blocked. So rooms, we said, rooms of different topics with, whoever. And these rooms are temporary rooms. You open them, there's this conversation, you talk, you discuss, and the moment that you are done, these rooms also close. They disappear basically when you're done. But there are also permanent rooms, and these permanent rooms are called clubs. You need to fill a form, you need to be active in opening the more regular types of rooms a couple of times a week. So you need a special status, just like the ticks that you can get on Twitter. And so opening a club is basically an important, basically a serious thing. And basically, the most important thing about these clubs is that they are permanent, but other than that, they basically work the same. But as I will get to explain to you in a second, it is still something quite important, still something quite nice, that you can have these permanent rooms called clubs, especially, for example, for businesses. So I said that you can open rooms and you can open them on whatever topic you want, and this basically also helps us understand the potential of Clubhouse, right? Because in whatever category you can talk with whoever about whatever, and this can be daily topics and small talk, but it can also be sophisticated topics with experts, right? And all sorts of experts on all sorts of areas of expertise. So Clubhouse basically appeals to commoners. It is there for more social use, but as well as to professionals for more professional and expert use. And so this, of course, gives Clubhouse this very diverse, this very, very interesting wide appeal and wide reach. And of course, from a business side as well, a very wide appeal. So many people actually use Clubhouse for getting in touch with celebrities, getting the opportunity to hear them speak, just normal conversations, and sometimes even engage with them if you get invited to, of course, say something back. So the diversity of Clubhouse users basically leads to richness, it leads to different perspectives in discussions. But what should not be overlooked here is that just like I said some minutes ago, whoever is in the room, in terms of the amount, in terms of the quality of the people in the room, is dependent predominantly on the moderator. How do you market your room? Who do you invite? And how have you performed in your previous rooms? What is your title? What is the description? All of these things are super important to have a high quality discussion on Clubhouse within your rooms. And so a moderator plays a critical role here. The better the moderator, the better the room in terms of the discussion experience. And this, of course, provides also an amazing opportunity for people to market themselves, because if you are able to demonstrate this great performance as a moderator, then of course people are going to follow you and they will also come to your next room. So very important here also, I think, is how businesses are going to use Clubhouse. It's going to be very different, for example, from the current way of running social media accounts. Moderators have to be understanding, knowledgeable, talkative, articulate, and a good manager, because conversations are live, on the spot. You don't have 5 minutes to overthink what type of a response you're going to give. It has to be, on the spot. Your response has to be there. It has to be sincere. It has to be of good quality. And of course, your community will understand when it is not sincere and when there's actually something fishy going on, when you're vague, and of course, in the end, when the experience is not of quality. So you're going to have this special, dedicated people behind your Clubhouse accounts, or you simply are going to avoid this platform. There's no in the middle here. So it's also going to be, of course, a great opportunity to brands rather than just businesses. Clubhouse can lead to an amazing bond with customers and with communities, especially through these permanent clubs that we just talked about, where you can over and over engage with the same community and you're basically not losing them the moment you close the room. And especially for brands and of course the companies or the people behind these brands, these clubs are very, very important to them to be able to get these bonds with the community, with the lovers of the brand and the business to even a higher level. So firms can benefit from this, individuals can benefit from this. For example, the celebrities we talked about can of course also greatly benefit from this. So Clubhouse is interesting thinking about this new model where moderators are going to get paid, right? So there's going to be this income model for moderators that are of course of high quality. And I think this is going to be very interesting, again, for the business side of things, for people who are going to use Clubhouse for business reasons, especially more individual, more independent types of people who are going to be more dependent on these types of income streams. And I think this can really fast track the platform's growth from a professional point of view. So one of the things, of course, that we're going to talk about is the Clubhouse frenzy, all of the fuzz around the social media platform. So where does it come from? So basically, Clubhouse gave this amazing feel of exclusivity to it. Firstly, it said that if you don't have an Apple product, you cannot use this social media platform. Android users have been craving the social media platform ever since. Secondly, you have to be invited by someone who is already on the platform. So it's not just enough that you are an Apple user. No, also someone else within your own network that's already on the platform has to invite you. So when you first register to Clubhouse, it wants access to your contacts. And if you do grant this access, it will invite people from there without you having to, for example, use your invitation rights. You get 2 invitation rights up front, but it will not be inviting everybody instantaneously, and so you can invite more people yourself. But again, as said, you only have 2 invitation rights, and these you have to use well. Over the course of time, sometimes Clubhouse gives you additional rights based on how you perform and how you do on the platform, but still don't count on it, and just do count on these 2 rights, and so do use them wisely, of course. And this has been massive for the Clubhouse image in terms of it being exclusive. People get curious, they want to reach what's unreachable to them, and people of course want to be first, of course, and see what's going on, to talk to others about it, but of course also to leave their mark on the social media platform in its early days. So on the one side, this gave Clubhouse the time to scale its infrastructure and of course to scale and to build up its resources to be able to of course deal with this bigger social media platform that's going to be there in a couple of months from now. And on the other side, it has really benefited from this exclusivity vibe. Its reputation has skyrocketed, especially because currently it is managing this exclusivity vibe well. There's still not that many disadvantages to it. People get invited, and so whoever wants to be on it one way or another finds its way to the platform. So let's add a footnote here. So when you invite someone, you're basically going to be coupled to that person, not just in terms of follower and being followed, but you will become actually a reference, as your name will be shown on that person's profile. So think very well about who you're going to invite, not just because you only have 2 shots, but especially also because you're going to be a reference and you don't want to be the name on the profile of someone who is going to, for example, get blocked somewhere. So everything until now should sound nice and great, but of course there's a catch, right? Twitter looks, for example, like a prospective, massive competitor. Twitter wants to start this service called Spaces. I don't know whether you heard about this, but this will basically be similar to Clubhouse. It will be a place to talk, to have a conversation, to have a discussion. And so when you listen to it, the way it looks like is that it's kind of the same as Clubhouse. And then, of course, the first thing that does come to mind is, hey, imitation, hey, copying. But no, Twitter says that this definitely is not a step towards copying Clubhouse. It's just a move towards expanding Twitter's business model, moving the business model forward. So let's for a second say that we believe this, okay? So I think that Twitter if it can really pull this off, will be in a very advantageous position compared to Clubhouse, because it can relatively easily move a lot of people to its Spaces service, just like, for example, Instagram did with Reels, right, in competition to TikTok. Twitter can do kind of the same here with Spaces in competition to Clubhouse. And if it really can pull this off, then Clubhouse is never ever going to be able to grow so fast as that it can reach the numbers that Twitter will have on Spaces. It will still try, and so in trying that, it will, of course, as fast as possible open up to Android. It will remove the invitations. It will, of course, also fast track this payment model to moderators. So Clubhouse is really going to try to scale and grow, but if Twitter can pull Spaces off in as good as possible way, then I fear that Clubhouse is going to have serious competition here, and I'm not really sure whether Clubhouse is going to be victorious in that case. So Twitter is not the only danger here. Instagram seems to get hurt badly by Clubhouse in the sense that it's one of the leading interactive social media platforms, and now you get this other platform that's also really about interaction, in this case about voice. And knowing Facebook, which is the owner, of course, of Instagram, there's the question of, will Facebook once again imitate one of its competitors through Instagram? It already imitated Snapchat back in the days through the stories. It also imitated TikTok through Instagram Reels. Will it now do once again the same thing in trying to imitate Clubhouse? So also, one of the interesting things is that Clubhouse is, of course, going to at some point try to diversify its range, widen its appeal even further. And if you think about it being mainly about voice, then one of the things that are very interesting are singing contests, right? And we have already seen some singing contests on Clubhouse, and then you will see that there's going to be this competition with, for example, TV channels. But Clubhouse is also very suitable for radio through clubs or rooms that stay open 24/7, and a fight with radio channels because of that is also very likely. Also, I really do see Clubhouse at one point in time move into podcasts, and if that happens, again, because voice and audio is, of course, at the center here, I think Spotify and Apple will again show up as rivals. Why I think that podcasts will be very interesting here is that Clubhouse is now just about live audio, but I don't think it will forever stay like that. At some point, I think it's going to move also into recorded audio that's going to be stored on the platform that others can listen later on to it, and that's, of course, where podcasts become very likely. So if Clubhouse does not grow fast enough, I fear that either it might lose the competition, or one of the better options, it might get acquired, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but of course something to keep in mind. So another issue that we have to talk about is security, right? One of the biggest debates that we currently have about social media in general, about digital and technology platforms, for example, around WhatsApp, what we've seen over the past weeks, past months. So as Clubhouse scales, how will, for example, Clubhouse control hate speech, right? So this is a very important thing. How will it also, for example, control fake news? So can Clubhouse really deal currently with its current resources, with its current infrastructure? Can it deal with the complexity that comes from live speech? How can it track what's going on, and how can it interfere when things happen that it does not want to happen on its platform? Surely there are some options, right? So there's the blocking option that we talked about. Moderators can block whoever is in the room, but what if the moderator, for example, condones, what if the moderator supports, for example, hate speech and fake news? Well, then nobody is going to block anyone. Also, Clubhouse, one of the things it tries is temporarily recording the meetings and opening this up to the moderator in case of problematic behavior. This is nice, right? The moderator can go back, can listen to it, and should there, be something fishy, then of course it can direct this to Clubhouse, and perhaps something can be done here. But then the question is Clubhouse in the end really going to delete these recordings entirely, or is there perhaps a privacy concern here that we might need to tap further into. So it seems as if Clubhouse is also battling this war against fake accounts, because you need to register with your real name and surname. That's what it wants from you. You also need to register with your phone number, and one phone number can only have one account to it. And there can also, for example, only be one club registered on one phone number. And this is very interesting, very different from some of the other social media accounts, for example. So Clubhouse does try a couple of things, but the question is, will it be enough? So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my take on the business side of things, and of course also on the security and privacy side of things here. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons. I wish you all the best in the world and hope to see you again anytime soon. Take care.